Hey guys, welcome back to the 6 Hearts on 6 Acres Garden. I am Bree and I'm so glad that you're with me this morning. We have a lot of work to get done in the garden. I am definitely at the point where it all starts to feel a little bit overwhelming. The kids and I picked green beans last night and we have a whole one of those huge Aldi's bags full, so I need to get those going today. But while I'm out here in the garden this morning, before it gets miserably hot, I think it's supposed to be like 94 today, we are going to pull up all of our onions that are ready. I have probably about over half of my onions have flopped over on top, so we're gonna get all of those out of the garden. And then the spaces where I had planted broccoli and cauliflower, I haven't succession planted anything in those spaces yet, so I was able to clear out most of the weeds this week. So we're gonna go ahead and fill those spaces with some more seeds. We're gonna go in with green beans, squash, zucchini, probably some winter squash, maybe a pumpkin, maybe some melons. I have still like 115 days until my average last frost, so pretty much anything will fit in that time span. And so we are going to just really get some work done in the garden this morning. I am getting some really great sized onions this year. I'm super excited about my onion harvest. See how this plant is still standing up straight? That means it is still growing. It is not ready to be pulled yet. But the one beside it is laying over, and so it is ready. This is for sure my best onion ear yet. I don't know if you can tell. This thing is massive. You can barely even hold it in one hand. This area now, besides that one onion that is still growing, is a good space that I can clear out. It's got lots of weeds in it. It's cleared pretty well. I will probably plant a winter squash here because it looks like I can trellis it up this way, and then up the trellis there is room for it to grow right there. These are some of the onions that I started from seed, not from my Dixondale onion starts. I think these were called the Tropiana ones. You can tell these are a different variety. Obviously, they're not those big round bulbs. They're a smaller onion, but I definitely didn't get near as good results as I got with my Dixondale onion starts. I went ahead and cleared that patch out where my onions were, got all the weeds out of it, so I can go ahead and succession plant something right here on the end of this bed. I have a cheddar cauliflower that got really bug eaten. I need to go ahead and pull it. But I did already succession plant some okra over here on this side of the bed where I had all of my broccoli. And I have a huge thistle that I need to dig out of the garden. And then back here, I'm going to take you around this side. These are some cucamelon that I direct seeded right here. These are tiny little cucumbers that have a sour taste to them. They almost taste like lime cucumbers. They're very, very slow growing. You can tell. I've had these in the ground for probably like a month and a half, and that's as big as they have gotten. But once they take off, they will cover this whole trellis. Probably 1 to 2 plants. I probably need to go in there and thin those out. My kids love snacking on these when they are playing in the garden and helping me out here. Look how big these are. Those onions are so huge. Look at my corn I'm walking by. We had some high wind not last night, but the night before, and it knocked my corn over. It did knock all of it just flat down like that right there. But it is slowly starting to stand back up. And I'm praying that it will all stand up, because it was just starting to make little corn cobs. We were really looking forward to that this year, so hopefully they will stand back up. I really need to get this pepper trellised up. I need to run. I bet my husband has some scrap little wood that I can dig into the ground, but I just want you to see. Okay, ignore all the weeds. Look how big these onions are, though. Like, that thing is huge, and it's just over and over and over. Huge onions. I think I have one more spot in the garden with onions, and then that will be the majority of our harvest for the year. I'm going to cure these on my back porch. I will show you that process as soon as we get them all pulled up. You got it? Okay. It is time to put some seeds into the ground. So the spaces where I pulled the onions and the spaces that I had already cleared earlier in the week from the spots where I had broccoli and cauliflower planted are ready to be sown with a second succession. So we are going to go in with, I got in my trusty little apron here, all of my seeds. Several different things. So like I said earlier, we have 115 days on average till our last frost here in Southwest Missouri Zone 7A. So that means I can pretty much plant almost anything. I am pushing it on pumpkins. They have about 110 days till maturity. I am still going to put some in the ground today and keep my fingers crossed that they mature in time. I have never grown large pumpkins in my garden before, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. We buy them every single year for the kids to make jack-o'-lanterns, so I thought it would be cool to try and grow my own. So we are going to do that. Let's see, what am I growing? We'll start with the pumpkins. So like I said, we're going to put in some jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. I just thought this one was really pretty. Valenciano white pumpkin. A winter luxury pie pumpkin. We're going to make our own pies for Thanksgiving this year. And then we're going to put in some calypso bean. These are for dried beans for soups. I love to do that. I grew a ton of these last year. Actually, I have lots of different varieties. And I just mixed them together to make like, you know, kind of like a 15 bean soup. I didn't have 15 beans, but I had a good mixture. And they were so good. So I'm going to put these in my garden again this year. I have some room to do another planting of okra. I'm going to go in with the red burgundy. I'm going to do some of these Armenian yard log cucumbers. I planted some of these when I planted out my trellis. I don't know if they were the ones that I lost to the cucumber beetles, but I don't have any growing on this trellis. And these were one of our favorites. So I'm going to make sure and add some of these and pray that they don't get eaten by the cucumber beetles because they are still all over my garden. If you have any great ideas to get rid of those, I am kind of at a loss. They hide out in the flowers of my squash plants. And so obviously I'm not going to put any type of pesticide in the flowers where the bees are. So other than just smushing them daily, which I have been doing, the ones that I can get to, I don't really know what else to do for that problem. So let me know if you have struggled with cucumber beetles in the past and what you did to overcome this, because they are killing my cucumber plants on the daily, and I'm pretty sick of it. I'm also going to go in with a second succession of this golden egg hybrid squash and some black beauty zucchini. I didn't grow black beauty in my garden for my first round, so I'm looking forward to have some of it in my second. And then we're going to put several different types of melon in. We're going to go in with some Athena melon, some Hale's Best jumbo cantaloupe, sugar baby watermelon. These ones have a picture. Some Kajari melon. Again, I planted these at the beginning on my trellis, but I don't see that I have any, so either they accidentally got pulled, or they didn't germinate, or they were killed by some kind of bug, who knows. I would like to think that I know what I'm doing and everything is perfect around here. I definitely do not. If you are on this channel because you think I know everything about growing a garden, you are in the wrong place. We are working this out on the daily, trying to figure out what we're doing. I have been gardening for almost 15 years, but you continue to learn every single year, and I feel like I don't ever have it all figured out, and I probably never will. We're also going to go in with a watermelon hybrid, a petite yellow watermelon, and I think that's it. So, oh no, that's not it. And then we're also going to do let me see if I can find them. Here we go. A second succession of these jade green beans. I'm going to put these, I was going to put them where my potatoes were growing, but my corn fell over in some high winds. And so those may be blocked. So we may have to wait a couple days on these. I need to kind of assess the situation and figure out if there's any room for them or not. Here, so I'm going to go in with the Armenian long cucumber in this space. I have an open spot right here at the front. We're going to go in here with the winter luxury pie. Our Hale's Best jumbo cantaloupe. These are right by our Jimmy Nardello peppers. I don't know if can you see those? I only have 3 seeds of these left, so all of these are going to go in the ground. I really want to add this Kajari melon to my trellis as well, and I don't have a ton of open space on here, but I do have a little bit by these cucumbers, and like I said, they are pretty much being wiped out by the cucumber beetles, and they're going to wipe themselves out once it gets, 90 to 100 degrees, which it is getting close to that anyway. So I'm going to plant these beside my cucumber, knowing that they may not have a ton of room right now, but eventually, by the time they are in need of that trellis, they will have plenty of room. Alright, so the trellis is fully planted out. I don't have room for anything else on there. I think though, while I have these in my hand, I'm also going to plant one of these on the headboard of my flower bed. Quite a bit of open space here. So we're going to go in with melons. We're going to put in our yellow petite watermelon and our Athena melon. These obviously, once planted, will not stay in this space. They are going to sprawl, but they have plenty of room to kind of just sprawl through my walkways here in the garden. have a little bit of weeds in here that still need clearing, so I'm just going to do that while I'm down here. In the front, I'm going to put the watermelon. And then behind it, I'm going to put the Athena squash. My brain is not working. The Athena melon. That borage plant is really great at attracting bees to my garden. But let me tell you, it does not feel good when you get close to it. It's really prickly. All right, this bed right here, like I said, is covered in corn currently. I am still praying that this corn is going to stand itself back up. It's only been 2 days. So I can't plant my beans in here, but I am going to just take this corner right here and put in that jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. I have been adding stakes to my peppers in the garden all day long. I didn't video most of them, but my peppers are starting to fall over from being heavy and from being tall. So I wanted to go ahead and stake some of them up. Now, it's important when you're adding a stake after the fact, after your plant is already in the ground, that when you put it in, you don't put it right beside the plant because you don't want to disturb the roots. So I'm over several inches, probably 3 inches from where my plant is in the ground at. And I'm just going to pound it down pretty good there. I need to get some twine to add to these stakes and to these peppers, but I don't have any right now. But just adding that stake was enough to get that pepper up, standing straight up, and help to give it support and stability. When I get to the store this week and I get some twine, if I can remember to add it to my grocery list, I will actually get those tied up to make sure that they stay. I also have found, as I've walked the garden today, 3 other piles of onions. I thought I got them all and got them all on the porch, but I had way more than I thought. So we are going to cure a few more, and we're gonna do them a different way. Try out two different styles and see what works best for me. This is my first year of actually being able to cure onions. These onions should last about 4 to 6 months if cured properly. So last year I grew, I don't know, probably like a third of the amount of onions that I grew this year, and I used them all in my cooking and in my canning. I did tons of salsas and spaghetti sauces and ketchup and barbecue sauce and just sloppy joe mix and chili mix, tons of stuff that used all of my onions up. And so I didn't have a need to cure them or to store them, but this year I think I grew enough that I do need to do that. So that is why we are going to try 2 different ways and see which one works best for these awesome onions I got this year. I am sitting here trying to decide what I want to plant on the edge of this bed. This bed has banana peppers and bell peppers in it, and then on the far side of the bed I have, it also has okra in it that's gonna grow up tall. I like to pack a lot into a bed. And then on the far side of it, it has beans. It has dragon tongue beans. And so I want to be, whatever I put in here, I would like to be able to still reach through to grab my peppers. So I don't want to put anything tall. That rules out okra. I also need to be able to walk here, so that rules out anything vining, so no squash or pumpkins. I'm leaning towards beans, but then at the same time, I think I was planning on putting beans in one of these potato beds. And I don't want to overdo it on beans. And then I think maybe I should just leave it open and let those pepper plants have plenty of room to grow. I am torn. I think I'm going to leave it open for right now. But give me your opinions and your feedback. What do you think I should plant right here, if anything at all? I'd say it has a good like 8 inches of space until my first pepper plant. So I feel like I have room to pack some stuff in there. I am not one who usually leaves a bed open. I may do. It's hot and I don't think cilantro will grow great and it may bolt quickly. But I may do another succession of cilantro because I don't have any growing right now. But I do have some that bolted and the seeds are about ready. So maybe I'll do some just cilantro and keep it cut down. And then if it bolts and gets tall, I'll just pull it because I don't want it blocking the way of the peppers. That may be what I do. I could also do the same thing with basil. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think I should put in this L-shaped bed here? I have plenty of space. I do still have 3 onions in there that were randomly still standing upright and growing tall. So I'm going to let those keep going until they fall down. It will be any day now, so they will be out of there as well. But I'm kind of torn. I'm very tired. That probably has a lot to do with my indecisiveness, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next bed for now. And then I have a pretty big open space here. This is the bed that is along my really long trellis. I had broccoli and cauliflower growing here. I am going to go in with some golden egg squash and some black zucchini. I think I can fit 3 plants here nicely in this space, so that's what I'm going to go in with. I had my daughters pick green beans for me yesterday, and I am seeing that they completely missed a few plants here of these top-notch yellow beans, and they are loaded. A lot of them are also bug bitten, unfortunately, but we will go through and get all of the good ones out of there. I think I'm going to do 2 of the black beauty and 1 of the golden egg. Alright, this bed in the back of the garden is the last thing that I'm going to plant tonight. And I'm going to go in with my watermelon hybrid and my sugar baby watermelon here. I am going to make mounds for these. My soil is dry. I'm going to have to water tonight. Hanging these onions up on my chicken coop fence is the other way that I'm trying out to get these onions cured so that I'll have a really great long storage life for them. So let's get the rest of these hung up real quick. All right, so those are up. They look really great. Curing them that way is definitely the prettier way to do it. But hopefully, I don't know, I'm worried about them being in the sun. They're not blocked from the sun here like they are up on my porch. So I'm gonna watch them closely tomorrow and make sure that they don't get too hot or, you know, start like cooking. I don't know, it's really hot here. And they will be in direct sun for a few hours. Well, I am done planting for the night. I didn't get in my Valenciano pumpkin, my green beans, or my dried calypso beans. Those are gonna go in my beds where I had my potatoes, but they are currently, one needs filled with more soil and the other is covered with my corn that fell over. So we're gonna give those a few days. I need to get some twine. I need to get some soil because I am completely out of compost. That's typically what I would fill those beds with. And then we will meet back here to get those beds filled. I am gonna give the garden a full water. It has been so hot here, like 90 degrees, and we have had very little rain in the last 2 weeks, so I've been having to hand water a lot. We are in the middle of putting in an irrigation system, and I cannot wait until it's finished because hand watering a garden this size is not a task. That is a whole lot of fun. It takes like an hour and a half to do. It's very time consuming, and I have better things that I would like to do with my time. But hand watering is it for right now, so I am going to get that done and then get inside for date night with my husband.